Alright, good afternoon, YouTube. I'm going to start off with a little update on the 70. Today I started off with what I had started yesterday. This little package of stuff here. It's the beginning of lowriders started off with leftover airplane items. Is what they would use to lift and raise their cars. I got these from a guy in Florida called Darren Ottoman. He goes by D-Lo Styles on the internet. I'll have to find some information for him, but these are all cast from him. They're the fuel tanks and the motors, the dumps and everything. So I started off with all this loose pure resin stuff, and I'd already showed you guys a mock-up of how I was doing the trunk. But what I done today was kind of detailed them up before. This is all before paint. I got the motor set up. Camera's not going to be too clear, it don't look like, but what you see on one of them, you'll see a valve that controls the flow of how fast the car will raise and lower, and then the other piece you see there, that's called the dump, or the actuator, which will let the oil flow that lifts the cylinders. The way I have this one here set up is just for front and back. I was going for the old school look. I don't want all four corners hopping, three-wheel motion type stuff. I just wanted this one to look like it would raise up and then pancake, going more for the show. And which brings me to another thing. I seen a video posted on I think it's FastJimmy. Excuse me if I got the name wrong. But I seen his hinge set up, and they looked a little thick to me. So I told him that I would go back through and find, and I would show him the items that I use. And with that being said, the brass that I use for the hinge itself, it is a K&S stock 1602, and it looks to be like, if I can get that set up there, it looks to be like a .32 in design wise. I'm gonna do this, guys. You're gonna see a switch real quick. I'm gonna try to put my magnifying glass in front of my lens to see if that helps me. There it goes. That is the brass rod that I use, and we'll go with, and then the tubing that it goes in is it's stock number 1008, and as you see, it's a 1/16 by .014, which is a very, very close fit. If you can see the way my hinges and everything are working on there, there's very little to no movement. It slides in there really easy. When I glue all my hinges on before paint, so I actually have to scrape the paint off the arm before it slides into the tube, because it's too close. Man, that magnifying glass did a way better. I just got done watching a video on YouTube with Dr. Cranky, and he was talking about the magazines, using the magazines for tips, and that's when I first started building lowrider models. The magazines were great. I look in the magazines all the time. I go to Google Images and type in, like the setup I'm using now, it's called a Pesco setup. So I would go to Google Images, I would type in Pesco, and then they would give me all the pictures and everything that they had related to that. I don't remember showing you guys much of the updates yesterday, but I cut out the old glue bomb cross member, and I got a new cross member in there. I got rid of all the glue and leftover molded in rear end stuff that was glued into place. Switched out the tank because it had the circle pinches in it from the molds, and still got a lot of work to do there. I'm just showing you guys some of the stuff, and I wanted to get back to Fast Jimmy and show him about the hinges. I noticed on the way he's doing his 66 how his doors, they swing out of the car. If you noticed in his, the way he has his hinges is he put the rounding tube that hinges them together on this side of the door, and then his arms are into the door. On mine, I've put the bending tube on the door and put the arms in, so that way if they was going to go for more of like a period correct thing, this is another way to do it. His hinges are super good. I watched his video. Don't sag, don't do nothing, and that's really good when you're hinging a door. The hoods and trunks are easy because we can manipulate those, but when it comes to the door, you open the door and it wants to sag or it wants to go high. His hinges is really good. I like the way his was done. This is just a different way to do it. I'm just using the same system he had. I just flipped it, went the other way. So if you pull my door out, you'll see where my hinge is on the door, and then the slides go into the body, and his is different. His door slides on and the hinge stays to the body. But that's just the different techniques that's great about model building. We all have a way that works good for us, so we try it, we share it. If it don't work, then trial and error is what's great. This is only plastic. We can always fix it, put mud in it, glue it. Plastic, speaking of plastic, I got a crap ton of plastic just sitting there. I got all my plastic on the shelf on the desk ready to be used. Always have drill bits because you never know when you're going to break something. You always got to be ready when you go after a hobby as strong as some of us guys do. Dr. Cranky, Fast Jimmy, Dave Parker, you guys are all great influences on this YouTube channel that I've decided to start sharing my hobby on YouTube. I'm on several other different websites, Facebook, and it's just the YouTube is I think it puts a little more personal. We can actually see who we're trying to help or talk to, and it's amazing to see how many when somebody thinks we're playing with toys, that see how many grown men are actually making this hobby thrive. We keep it going. Back to Dr. Cranky's last video we just watched today. Magazines. Look, magazines. Model car magazines, truck magazines, motorcycle magazines. Reference. A reference will help so much when you're trying to build something. And it's just great. You guys, all you guys on YouTube. I was going to share something else with somebody. I'm drawing a blank. I covered the hinging material for Fast Jimmy. The only other, I guess, shout out I want to give to is a Chevy Cheese booger. Watch your latest video. The diorama is pretty good. I'm gonna look through my slop that you can see. My desk is all just trash. I'm gonna look through my slop and see what I can't pitch in. You could get that thing a little more detailed up. You're on a good roll. I was thinking about the comment you made on the air compressor. I'm thinking the only thought I had in my head really was to take an old pill bottle and maybe a bouncy ball from a quarter machine and stick in the top and in the end, like cut it in half, and that way you got your roundest. You got your roundness of the, I call them bullet tanks or bomber tanks is what most air compressors look like. So I'm thinking maybe something like that, or to keep it old school like you're doing, maybe find a belly bomber and turn it into a compressor. Just ideas that just are going through my head right now. And it's not even my project, so that's what's great about this hobby. You can help somebody else out and spark your own interest. I hope I shared enough with you guys. Don't want to take up too much more of your time. I tried to sign up for that Google Plus. I don't know nothing about it. Any help on that would work out great for me. And like I said, you guys keep doing what you're doing. Sorry I'm not into 48-hour build or this lowrider build, but I'm new here. Just happy to be able to share with you guys, and I accept all the comments that come back, and I appreciate all the subscriptions. Now, I haven't subscribed to everybody that subscribes to me, just to the fact is I try to look at your guys' pages. I'm new at this. Right now I'm more interested in learning how to make my videos better, and I know it's not a popularity game, so no offense if I don't subscribe to your guys' channels right away, but for the most part I've subscribed to almost all of you. There's just a few that I haven't had a chance to yet. I'm on my mobile most of the time, and it comes up as another name, but I try to check my emails, answer any questions, and like I said, Fast Jimmy, Chevy Cheeseburger, and most of all Dr. Cranky, Dave Parker, you guys have all keep those videos coming. I had been out of the hobby, honestly, due to some illnesses and just burned out, I guess. You know, just you get to a point where it's like everything was just blah. I didn't have no momentum, and seeing your guys' videos and some of the stuff you guys are putting up there is just kind of got the blood moving again, if you would, per se. Not really amped to get up and come right down here, but I'm interested in it again, and I thank you all for that. Good luck with all your guys' build offs, and thanks for letting me share another video. Thank you.